Peace and blessings, family. This is Mambo Hathor Erzuli Akhenaten, and we are on course number 2. Welcome to Indigenous Voodoo University. Today, we're going to be diving into the science of smoke magic, the do's and the don'ts. So stay tuned for this knowledge.
Couple of drinks, you get trans. Shake it down, make it go fast. Got a little something, girl, you can't pass it.
So when it comes to the science of smoking, as you can see, it's very, very vaguely used in our society. It's overused and abused, to be honest. If we look at ancient times when it came to smoke magic, or the essence of smoke, period, that was always to communicate with spirit. Remember, smoke is the oxygen for the spirit. Okay, remember that. Now, when it comes down to who used to smoke, it was only spiritual leaders. We're talking about shamans, mambos, ugins, priests, priestesses. It was people of high ranking, leaders of kings, queens that only used to partake in the smoke, because let's remember, a lot of times there were either sigils or different blended herbs and different things to go into higher heights. Okay, to get premonition, predictions, things of what was coming next. So again, smoke magic is a sacred, forgotten practice. Okay, now when we move into it, if you're looking at the times we're living in now, it's very, very obvious. You look at everything from commercials to the music we're listening to the fashion world, to everything around us promotes smoke, 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 smoke. You ever wonder why that is, though? Smoking for recreation is only used when what happens? Humans encounter problems. And what is it? It's used as a recreational function for escapism from the problems. Your boss is getting on your nerves, your children getting on your nerves, you got relationship issues, you got financial issues, bills, trying to find a job, the whole nine, graduating, whatever it may be, you seek escapism from it. So that has a lot to do with what we deal with today. It encounters an energy of low vibration, and you put out into the atmosphere nothing but fear, pain, anxiety, okay? Helplessness, that kind of function. It no longer becomes sacred anymore, because all it's doing is putting out chaos into the environment, leaving everything at a low vibration instead of dealing with it in a way that is ritualistic, with intention, with purpose. Now, as we go into a lot of the reasons why many people have spiritual dis-ease, okay, or even physical dis-ease, is because the spirit works with smoke directly. Many a times, as I've observed, when spirit comes into possession, as we talk about indigenous voodoo, many times when they're about to mount and they come and they're there and it's strong, one of the first things you'll see, they will make a gesture like this, needing that smoke. Why? Something about the energy with the smoke calms and soothes the spirit. Why? It's their oxygen. Think about it. As soon as they start smoking, there becomes a calm over that particular spirit, so it can start to do the work that it's come to do most of the time. Okay, and if you pay attention to even go higher, most people who are highly spiritual mambos, ugins, people of high positions that do this kind of work, usually in their normal day-to-day life, they never smoke. They can't stand it. So it's very interesting how, again, in their physicality, the spirit works with them so much because they do that as a living within ceremonies and rituals that they do not smoke. Okay, now back to when I spoke about spiritual dis-ease. This type of spiritual dis-ease is what causes those curses, okay, cause those misfortunes that you can't understand, or blockages and don't know where they're coming from. They cause all of those things because, again, if you do not have a purpose, it's like literally you're knocking on the spirit's door. And when they answer and say, "How can I help you?" you have nothing to give because you ain't placed no intent behind that smoke. You were using it just to say, I got problems, I got problems, I got problems, but spirit doesn't work that way. You must communicate exactly what it is that you have in store, whether it is an intention for protection or I need a better job or whatever your ritualistic purpose is at the time. You have an intent placed, and that changes the whole game in smoke magic. Now, let's get into exactly what the 3 atmospheres or 3 functions that are vital when we're talking about smoke magic and what they happen to influence in this body, okay? Inner and outer, to be honest. Now, when we look at it, 3 things I want you to pay attention to. Your ether is your soul. Your breath is life. Your brain is a virtual reality. I'm gonna say that one more time, a little louder. Your soul is the ethers. Your breath is life. And your brain is a virtual reality. Now, why is that important? Because when you deal with smoke magic, you invoke and use all 3 of those to push forward the manifestation of what you're looking for in that ritual, in that ceremony, and so on and so forth. When you don't use it properly, you now actually put all of those 3 essences at a disadvantage in the physical body with your breath. Now, you may be more heavy in breath, have shortness of breath, which leads to the sicknesses, right? In your ether with your soul, you will feel jittery, or you may feel like something just doesn't feel right. You know, when you're just sitting there, something just don't feel right. I don't know, I just can't get right today. Everything I'm trying today just seems like it's a freaking, 110 on me. Like it's just weighing on me and I don't know why or where it's coming from. Or when you talk about what? The energy in essence of your very brain, the brain function. What keeps you going for the day? Your brain, you're always in your head about what you got to do, what you didn't do, what you need to be doing, what you should be doing. If that is clogged and foggy, how you going to function straight? That is your virtual reality. Now, when we talk about virtual reality, again, it's the perception. How are you perceiving the things that you're watching or the people you're encountering and having interactions with throughout the day? So if that is distorted and everywhere, if your breath shortened, hot, not feeling well, that kind of thing, if your ether, your soul, the real you feels in distress, feels out of pocket, uncomfortable, what are you now doing to yourself? You are causing pure, utter chaos in every which and sense of the way. Why? Because you're using your smoke magic inappropriately with no intent. Everything in this universe is energy. So if you're not, again, driving that energy into what it is you're going to do with your smoke, with that inhale, exhale, then you're setting yourself up for complete destruction, for utter continuous chaos, and even continuous spiritual curses. That is the science, if you will, or just giving you some backtrack, things to think about, a history of some sorts as to the importance of smoke magic. So when it comes to smoke magic, you can't even touch the things that are going to give you smoke without properly saluting and getting into the complete energy and environment, setting it up, if you will, to even get into touching the smoke. Now, first things first, you're most likely going to have a bell in your home, but in this case here, I have the cha-cha end bell, if you will. This is something that's used by, of course, Ugans or Mambos, different things of that nature. However, if you don't have this, it doesn't matter. Sometimes people just have the cha-cha by itself or the bell. Again, this is the invocation of sound. So how it's going to go is, first off, you're going to hold it. And you're thinking in your head, you're going to be going for about 3 minutes, okay? And really get it into the energy and the essence of the sound as to where you're going to be saying,
Say, dance, yeah. Couple of drinks, you get trans. Shake it down, make it go fast. Got a little something, something, girl, you can't pass, can't pass.
Dance, yeah. Couple of drinks, you get trans. Yeah, shake it down, make it go fast. Got a little something, something, boy, you can't pass.
Dance, yeah. Couple of drinks, you get trans. Shake it down, make it go fast. Got a little something, something, girl, you can't pass, can't pass.
Dance, yeah. Couple of drinks, you get trans. Yeah, shake it down, make it go fast. Got a little something, something, boy, you can't pass.
you can't hide. Blaze it all up and you know we gon' ride. You wanna call him cause your body want it bad. Don't waste you want it, make the spirit twerk it bad. Who's running with me? Cornered by BT. No pain, no gain, please don't fuck with me. From walking through valley, the shadow of death.